Good morning, friends, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to a week in my life vlog, but we're going to put a little bit of a spin on it this week. Obviously, I'm reading. I am still playing the Readathon Rebellion, which is a readathon board game created by Mel over at Melanor Reads. We have sprints. People are playing this board game. We're having a really good time, but I'm behind. So we're gonna change a couple things up this week. I have been rolling the dice one time to move around the board. I'm going to switch to rolling 2 dice this time, just so I can try to reach the end. I have got to save the Silent Spectre from Grimhold Prison. I just have to. So in order to try and make some things happen this week, I am going to be using the app Focus Friend, which was created by Hank Green. And you are this little bean, and he is just kind of living his life, and he needs help focusing. And so you can set your phone for a certain amount of time, kind of like a reading sprint that you do yourself. But as you are reading, he is knitting, and he knits little socks, and then he sells his socks. And when you sell your socks, you can buy things for your bean's home. So I really want to furnish his bedroom this week. And then if you guys like this vlog, we might move to me trying to save up to buy a living room for my little bean friend. So this week we are trying to fully furnish his living room, and we are gonna need to make a lot of socks to make this happen. I really like this app because you can choose to have it like in a completely lockdown mode where you can't access any other apps, or if you know you have a text message or something coming through, or you need to have access to a certain app, you can leave it kind of unlocked. I tend to use it in the locked mode, but every now and then I know that I have something I need to be doing, so I can use it in the unlocked mode. So flexibility there. If you buy the pro mode, you can like choose which apps lock down, but I digress. It's Tuesday, which means we're gonna be reading Tuesday through Sunday this week, and I am starting it with the book Ray Bear. I did start this in my 48-hour challenge, but I'm only 3 chapters in. Like, not enough has happened for me to even tell you what's going on, but this is a YA fantasy that was recommended to me by my friend Matthew, and it is high time I get to it. I actually have the duology on my TBR shelf over there as well, so if this goes well, we might find a way to pick up the second book in the series as well and finish strong. But it's a busy week. I did not read it all yesterday because my best friend came over. I had not gotten to hang out with him since all of the drama happened with my back, and so he made lasagna, I brought salad and some garlic bread, we had dessert, and we caught up on one of our favorite shows, which is Severance, but I did not read. So Tuesday and Wednesday this week have got to be high priority reading days. Thursday, we have tickets to go to this kind of like tasting event where all of the restaurants in a nearby town are getting together, and it's a ticketed thing, and you can go around and try different foods. And then this weekend is going to be busy too. So any spare time I have, me and my little bean are going to be reading. I named him Banana Pudding. I don't know why, but we need to furnish his home. So welcome to this week in my life. Let's hope we can get some stuff done. The difference between my morning self when my makeup is freshly put on my face and the version of me that exists at the end of the day after I have spent 8 hours with 105 13 to 14-year-olds will never cease to amaze me, because I look like I've been through the ringer at this point, and I kind of have. Please teach your children to be nice to themselves, to be nice to other people, and as long as adults are treating them kindly, also to adults. And that doesn't mean that, you know, an adult is never punishing them or issuing discipline, but if they're doing it with love, and if they're doing it with their best interests in heart, please teach them respect and kindness, always. I promise I'm not trying to traumatize these children. I'm just trying to teach them math, and for some of them that's the same thing, but I try really hard to not make it a traumatic event, I promise. But I don't know if it is a supernova, total eclipse of the heart, full moon or something this week, but I feel like I'm walking in to a cage of wild animals every day. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. But I got home. I don't know if you can tell, my bed has clearly been slept in since I got home. I wasn't feeling 100% amazing when I got home, so I took a little nap, woke up, had some chicken noodle soup, because again, not feeling great. But after my shower, we're gonna get into Ray Bear, and we're gonna set our little Focus Friend timer. And here is his status right now. These are all the things I've bought for his little bedroom. We still need a desk, we still need some wall decor. So we have a lot to do in our little banana pudding bedroom today and throughout the rest of this week. So here's starting progress, right? Okay, here is what I understand about this book so far. I'm only 32 pages, 3 chapters in. We are following Tarasai, I believe I'm saying her name correctly, and she is the child of this very mysterious magical entity called the Lady. At least I'm assuming she's magical. And when Tarasai is born, she is granted the ability to wish something upon her child, and so she wishes for the ability to be able to command her child in a specific moment. And Tarasai kind of grows up in isolation. She lives in this invisible manor. She's not really allowed to get close to anybody, and she just longs for companionship. When Tarasai comes of age, it is revealed that she is going to go to the capital and she is going to compete for a spot on the prince's council, only to find out that her reasoning for competing to be on this council is so that she can kill the prince, and that is her command. She has to go, she has to win, she has to battle her way through, and she has to kill the prince. So where I'm at in the book right now, they are traveling to the capital. She has met some new companions, some caretakers who are going to help her along the way, and she learns about magic that's called hollows. Everybody kind of has their own gift of that, and we have not really learned about Tarasai's yet. We've kind of hinted at it and alluded at it, but I don't really know that much about her magical ability yet. So I'm gonna hopefully maybe get to like page, how many pages is this? This is 367 pages, so maybe page like 100 or so. It is IA, so it does read semi-fast, and I have the audiobook. So a few hours of reading in bed, letting our bean knit some socks, and continuing to read this book, which I think I'm gonna like a whole lot. Fingers crossed. I will update you guys with where I get before I go to sleep. I apologize for what I might look like at that point, because who knows at this stage of my life, I don't know. Hello, we are in my classroom before school starts, and since I got here early, I thought I would give you an update on what I read last night, because I definitely said I would update you before I went to sleep, and that was not true. First of all, we made some progress, so I was able to buy Banana Pudding a desk. I'll play the footage while I talk, but I am now up to chapter 10 in Raybear. I have my bookmark there, and that means I also made it to part 2. We have beautiful, just like kind of geometric pattern illustrations all throughout this book. Every chapter has a different pattern, but we are literally growing up with our main character, Tarasai. She starts as a young girl, and I could never quite put my finger on how old she was when she started this book, but I believe it was around age 10 or 11. And she travels to the capital kingdom to compete for a spot on the prince's council, which we've already discussed. I was worried that she was going to stay 11 or 12 for all of the book, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but she has grown up over that time. And all of these kids from these different areas of the kingdom go to try for this spot, and they have to have a hollow. They have to have a magical power in order to compete, in hopes that the prince's ray, which is kind of like a magic that he has that connects him to his council, and they all kind of depend on one another once the ray has reached out to them. But they're competing with a magical power, and they are hoping that his ray will touch them and that they will become bonded. And then from there on out, the council and the emperor have this kind of like codependent family relationship. I don't really know how to explain it very well, but with each new council member that joins, the king or the emperor also gains an immunity to something that could kill him. So I believe there are 11 different ways, or no, there's 13 different ways to die. And with each new bond to a council member, one of those ways is eliminated. So if one of them bonds to you, you can no longer die by fire. If one of them bonds to you, you can no longer die by a beast mauling you. And pretty much the only things left after you have bonded with all of your council is old age or one of your council turning against you. And of course, Tarasai is terrified to become a member of the council because her mother gave her this command that she must kill the prince. So it's all very precarious, and it's a great setup for a story. We watch her grow as she is very, very conflicted about whether she wants to accept the prince's ray, because she quickly becomes a favorite in this competition. But I'm not really going to spoil anything, but her conflicts are very, very valid. Something else that's interesting is you're kind of given the premise that this is going to be a trial-based book and like it's going to be a competition, but you really don't see any of the trials. They're just going on in the background. A lot of it is her inner conflict and her meeting these other competitors and getting close to some of them. There is one competitor competitor named Sanjeet, and I really like him. And she's just getting close to some people. And for a child that grew up without friends and without close connections, I'm loving getting to see her warm up to people. I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm like 30% in, and I don't know why I put this off for so long because I'm really having quite a good time. The writing is good, the audiobook is good. There are a lot of sound effects like onomatopoeia throughout this book, especially in the sing-song lore sections of the book. And when I'm listening to the audio, those little sections are kind of getting on my nerves a little bit, but that's a very minor complaint and says nothing about the storytelling. I'm home from work. I'm showered. I'm looking a little bit more alive than I was last night, and I am on Patreon sprints, about to read some more of this. I am about halfway through chapter 11, so about page 120, and I have been missing out. This book is so good. So good. So I am gonna set my timer and get some more socks made. Currently, after spending money on his desk last night, or spending my socks, I have 30 socks because I put the timer on while I got ready this morning and listened to some more of the book. I am having to do that in the like not locked down phase when I do an audiobook. So I've just been really trying to not pick my phone up while using that timer, and it seems to be pretty effective so far. So we're doing a 45-minute sprint. By the time I'm done updating this clip, it will probably be more like 40 minutes, which means I'll set it for 35 minutes. So I have some like wiggle room in there, but we'll see how far we can get. I don't really have anything to update you on as far as the book goes, other than I have to look at her name every time. I is a very like fun character to follow in her inner conflict. You just feel so much for this girl because at the heart of everything, she just wants to be loved and have this found family that people keep promising her, but there is always something in the way. When she was growing up, it was that her mother wasn't very close to her, and now that she is grown up and she has this found family, she has this secret that she's harboring. And so even though she has her family and her friends like close, they're not as close as she could let them be. So you just feel so bad for her. But I think she's 15 or 16 now at this point, and her story is just fascinating. There's also some mystery surrounding her mother. I said at the beginning of the book that her mother is the one that wished this curse of her killing the prince upon her, gave her this command. So we're learning a little bit more about her mother as we go as well. And there's other ominous antagonists that we've been introduced to, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm so intrigued. It's reading time. Good morning. I actually managed to get up before 6 a.m. today, which is ideally what needs to happen every day. But unfortunately, me and the snooze button are like this. So I did manage to get 149 socks last night. Everything that I need in Focus Friend costs 150 socks. So while I change my face and my hair to something a little bit more work appropriate, we're going to get our final sock and make a purchase. I will check back in before I leave for work because clearly a check-in needs to happen, but I will be drinking my coffee, and then I think it's gonna be a double coffee morning, and I think I'm gonna have to stop at 7 Brew. So, Thursdays, man. Thursdays. Good morning. Now that I'm a little bit more put together, we're wearing my Strand sweatshirt today. I'm really fortunate with where I work. Like, we have a dress code. I'm wearing proper pants today. They're not blue jeans. I'm actually wearing black barrel jeans today. Trying the barrel jeans trend. Well, I'm not sure if I like it or not, but I bought these, so I'm gonna wear them. And since they're not blue jeans, I can wear them. And then like wearing shirts that encourage education and hobbies and like college or trade schools or whatever is also encouraged. So like reading, bookstore, hobbies. And I think dressing it up with like necklaces is cute. And it's a gloomy Thursday, so even though it might still be hot outside, my classroom is freezing, gloomy day sweatshirt. So let's talk about Ray Bear. I'm now on page 257, which is chapter 25. Audiobook is saying that I have like an hour and something left. This book is getting so good. It was already good, and I never really talked about it, but there were some characters that were kind of thrown at us at the beginning that then just kind of disappeared, and I was like, are they gone? Because they seemed so random and there seemed to be so much lore and backstory behind them. I was like, it's weird to introduce us to them and then like never bring them up again, but we're learning more about them. They have returned, they have resurfaced, and I think that they are very, very interesting. There is also sprinkles of romance, although I would say the plot is very much fantasy forward, and then just like a little bit of romance, and the reveals that we have gotten in part 3 have been intense. So many questions are starting to get answered, although they are opening doors to many more questions. And I just have to say, Terasai is such like an every girl character who just happens to have all of this stuff thrown at her. Every time she overcomes something, there is something else thrown at her that she has to then adapt and reacclimate her life to. And to do this at such a young age with such grace, like she is a very believable character, but at the heart of her is kindness. I don't think she's brash or makes impulsive decisions. I think that she's somebody who very carefully thinks through her next move to the point of not wanting to take risks and wanting to blend into the background. And it takes those around her with her found family, which is like the heart of this book, to push her into doing things that are great for her, but also then great for people around her. And I think that the found family and the individual character of Terasai are working so seamlessly together. And I don't know what the board is going to pick for us next, but I'm like, man, do I read the sequel? Do I do that next? I haven't binged a series since Mistborn in 2020 when I read that back to back to back. So I don't know what we're going to do. I also really want to pick up the Bone season, but like finishing a duology would be a huge check mark off my checklist, so we'll see. I need to go to work. I need to stop at 7 Brew and get a coffee. And then today is actually a really exciting day. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to read, but like I really feel like I could still finish that today. But we have tickets to that tasting event tonight. So I'm gonna get home from school, probably refresh my makeup and change my outfit since this will be outside and a sweatshirt is not going to fly. But I'm really excited to, number one, hang out with my best friend, but number two, like do this event that I've never gone to that's gonna have so much good food. Food is like a sticky area for me right now, and I don't want to talk about it because I know that can be triggering, but like being on medicines that are making my body react to food differently and then also not being able to exercise has put me in a really weird headspace, and that's tough for the brain goblins. So I think I'm gonna start doing some really light yoga or something this weekend that's mostly focused on stretching, but that makes me feel like I'm doing something positive for my body, because I feel like I'm just beating it up with medicine right now, although it's helping with the pain. That's all I'm gonna say on that area, because again, I don't want to like put brain goblins into your heads, but like this is something I'm going through right now. So deep breaths with me. Let's go get coffee. My hair was super curled this morning. I touched up my bangs because it was all I had time for, but I feel in this denim dress kind of like I need to go to Rebel Blue Ranch. I want to go there so bad, but I'm about to go to the food festival. I don't know if a dress was the move, but it's hot. And like, I didn't feel like wearing jeans knowing that we're about to like go eat a whole bunch of different food. So a denim little dress it is. I do have shorts on because like it feels, hello, it feels a little short, but I put shorts on underneath it. So here's hoping. I wish I had a better way to show you guys my outfits, but like the tripod only does so much. So it's this little denim dress from Walmart. I love Walmart clothes. Necklace is from Amazon. Hoops are from Walmart. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I have terrible service where this event is located. That way I can hopefully be there before Brent gets there. And like if I get there early, I can read in the car. It's win-win. But I'm very excited. I'll try and get some clips, some footage of the foods and the drinks and the fun. And I'll check in with you later. folks in the jambalaya tent. You guys know I'm always gonna keep it real with you, so here's the post-shower Friday evening, done with the work week, don't want to be a member of human society Friday night look. I feel like I have lived a whole lifetime since the last time I updated you guys 24 hours ago. So the food fest was so much fun. We probably tried between like 20 and 30 restaurants, but we didn't even go to every tent. There just wasn't time. And like by the time we had gone to all the places we wanted to go to, I was full for one. But you were given a ticket, and so you got to go vote for your favorite one at the end of the night, and then you waited for your results, and there's like fan favorite, best dessert, best display. And it was just a really well organized, fun event. The band was so good. They were called Soundcheck the Band, and they played so many different like popular songs in so many different styles. It was very impressive. And then I came home and I went to sleep. I have read a little bit off and on since the last update, but like it's been like 15-minute spurts here and there. I have 66 socks right now. We need to get another 150. So I'm about to probably watch a booktube video or two because I haven't really gotten to catch up with my friends that post videos this week. And then what is that? A fuzz. Okay, bye fuzz. And then I will settle down to read. I'll probably do like some like individual like personal reading sprints just to get some more socks made. But I'm on chapter 27 right now. Part 4. I've made it to part 4, which is the last part. So I'm like 300 pages in of this 300 and what is it, 48 page? Am I right? Oh no, it's like 360. But still, like that's not that much. I could finish this tonight. And then I have Saturday and Sunday. Could I read the sequel if it works out on the board? I don't know. That would be so much fun. Tomorrow I'm going over to my brother's. I know I was just there last weekend, but my dad's coming into town and we're gonna watch college football, which I like football. I like cheering for my team, Mississippi State Bulldogs, but like I'm not deeply invested into needing to know the score of every single game. So I'll be there to watch and cheer on my teams and like eat and hang out with my family, but also like I'm gonna bring a book and it might just be the sequel. It would be so fun to read a second book this weekend and really feel like I'm catching up. I might even make it to the end of the game board. Wouldn't that be a trick? But yeah, I'm gonna sit down and get some more of Raybearer read, and I need to know if you guys have read this. I feel like several years ago I saw it talked about on YouTube a whole lot. Maybe not, maybe a whole lot is the wrong phrase, but I saw it here and there. I don't think I ever saw anybody talk about the sequel, and I definitely haven't really heard it brought up recently, so let me know. God bless America. It's Saturday. I've never been more ready for a weekend, and I say that with all the love in my heart, but this work week felt like it was 9 years long. I needed a break from my profession for a couple days, and because it's Saturday, I've gotten that. I am very sore from physical therapy today because like I feel like all we did yesterday, they put me on the little like bike thing, which that was fine, that didn't hurt, and then all we did for 45 minutes was ab work, which I understand since my back is compromised why we're working on my core, because that can help stabilize and secure things in the back because then you have a strong core to lean upon. But oh, it was rough. But I was told I can start walking a mile again. So catch me back on my hot plot walks. I've been so missing them, and just the feeling of exercise in general. I feel like the only thing I've really been able to do is a little bit of yoga and then the exercises that they tell me to do at home, which don't feel like I'm really exercising. They're like prone press ups every day, just like laying on my belly and pressing up. So I have missed working out, but today I'm going over to my brother's house and we're gonna have ragu and watch football and like stuff. I might take a walk around his neighborhood just because I'm like, I can walk again. I should. I can't decide what to do with my bangs today. They're not really bangs. I kind of trimmed them the other day and this is not the vibe. I've had a weird hairline my whole life, so we needed something to cover the weird hairline. But let's talk about the book I finished, because I finished Miss Raybearer right here, and I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. It was so close to being a 5-star, but somewhere between part 3 and part 4, things slowed down. The tone of the book shifted just slightly, and I felt like it was a little bit too long. So I think some people have shared that sentiment, and some people think this is a perfect book, and I definitely fall somewhere in the middle. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very excited for the implications of everything that happened at a very like boom, boom, boom ending for what that means for the next book, which is called Redemptor. I'm so excited. But I am taking a break from it. I thought I might go straight into the sequel, but just knowing that like the end kind of felt a little different. I'm ready for a break from this world for just a second. I think I'm going to finish it next month though. I am going to pick up a book on my Kindle because back during Summerween, I was just in like a thriller mood and I picked up some new thrillers, like paid for them on my Kindle. And one of those was a recommendation from one of you guys, and that is The Appeal by Janice Hallett. This book speaks to me on so many levels. It is about a like community theater group. Hello, hi, have you met me? There have been big chunks of my life where I have lived, breathed, strived for nothing more than to be either on stage, directing, producing, or somehow involved in my local community theaters. It's still a huge part of my life. I'm not acting as much just because teaching sucks life out of you. The last show I did was Neil Simon's Rumors. I did that last November, and then I had done Children of Eden the summer before that. And I'm always looking for new things to audition for, but it takes like a very special show for me to be like, I can sacrifice my reading time and my energy levels to do this show. There is one coming up soon, so we'll see. We'll see. It's a one-person show. Can you imagine the weight of carrying that? But anyway, this book is about a group of community theater players, which already has me hooked. And it is written in nothing but correspondence style, like transactions between people. At the very beginning, you are given a letter that one of the characters is supposedly reading that's like, hey, here's the recovered correspondence, and it might not be complete, so we'll send over new things as we find them. And you're like, okay, well, something went down with this community theater. And so far we have gotten letters back and forth between this one girl who you can tell like is trying to just be so involved that she is annoying. She's constantly emailing the directors and producers of the shows and being like, I thought so-and-so was great in the show. And also I have these new friends and they're not theater people, but if we see them, we should totally reach out to them because they would be perfect in the show. And she's just trying to like keep her name in the theater presence. It feels like the last show she did, she had a very small part, but like you can tell she's passionate about it, but she's also one of those annoyingly passionate people that you're just like, okay, calm down. It's not that serious. But to some people it is, you know? Anyway, nothing has happened yet. We're just getting a lot of emails like from her with these kinds of sentiments. And then the director will write back being like, thanks, regards. And she'll have just written like a 2-page email. It's so funny. Like, you know, people like this. So let me show you the cover of the book. What am I doing? Okay. The Appeal by Janice Hallett, and it says 1 murder, 15 suspects. Can you uncover the truth? And I think just like knowing what this is like up front is going to be so much fun with the, like, you're missing information. You know you're missing information because the letter at the beginning said, hey, we'll send over new things as we find them. This transcript is incomplete. Like, it's gonna mess with my head, but I feel like it's gonna be cozy. I don't feel like it's gonna be that scary. And I think that knowing I'm going over to my brother's to watch football and hang with family, if I do have a second to pick up my Kindle, it's not going to take much brain power to process what's going on. I haven't bought anything new for banana pudding yet. Yesterday was not a big reading day and Thursday was not a big reading day, but that's okay. We have the weekend ahead of us. We will furnish this little guy's room. Let's go. I need to go buy a salad to take to my brother's and then head there because I'm out of coffee and he has coffee, and therefore I need to be there. Day, same me, keeping it very real with the laundry that needs to be folded in the background. But hi, it's Sunday and I am now just about 100 pages into The Appeal. It was yet another morning of not being able to sleep in. I don't know what has changed between myself and my teenage self, because I used to be the kid that would sleep in till 10, 11, 12 every day that I had the opportunity to, and now I cannot sleep past 6. So that sucks for me because that's still the life I would like to live, but it's the life that my body says no to. But like I said, about 100 pages in, and we were able to buy Banana Pudding another treat this morning, so he now has a bulletin board and some decor above his desk. We have a few more little trinkets, odds and ends to get him before his room is fully furnished, so we're going to continue working on that today. But before I can do that, I have book club brunch, so I'm about to leave for that. I went very simple today. I'm wearing a black top, faded black jeans. I feel like a photographer. And then I did some mixed metals for my jewelry today. How do we feel about that? I don't know. I'm monochromatic. I feel like that's kind of fun. My hair is also large and in charge today. I don't know. This is gonna sound crazy, but I actually might stop for coffee on the way to brunch because I am feeling dead and it's like a 20-minute drive. And then I can just get brunchy things at brunch, even though coffee is a brunchy thing. Don't ask me about how my brain works, but how am I enjoying the appeal? So more things have happened, and the main driving force of this book is that the granddaughter of the man who was directing the play has been diagnosed with brain cancer. And so now everybody is trying to help him raise money for Poppy to get the treatment that she needs. So there's communication about galas that are going to be put on and balls and a GoFundMe, and everybody is emailing back and forth. And not that I've had cancer. I'm not trying to compare myself to Poppy in that aspect, but I have had chronic illness. And I remember when I got my diagnosis for ulcerative colitis, people just bombarding my family with tips and tricks, and have you tried this, and would you want to try this, and would this help? And the seeing all of the emails coming in through correspondence in the book is so overwhelming and so reminiscent of what it is like to be the person in the hot seat that everyone wants to help. And you're so grateful for the outpouring of emotions, but at the same time, you're this is information overload and not everybody is being helpful. So that is still true. And the main girl that we're following, the one who I said was being a little bit obnoxious, she remains obnoxious to me. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel that way about her, but she is so annoying to me. And then what's really interesting is there is one perspective in this book, and we are never seeing her outgoing emails. We are seeing all of the emails that come into her, but we are not seeing any outgoing emails. And to me, that screams suspicious. So we haven't really gotten much of the play. It's just that all of these players know each other from the play, and there also hasn't been a murder yet. And from the title, I was promised murder. So we definitely got to keep going because I need a murder. I need it to happen. But I have Readathon Rebellion sprints when I get home from brunch. I'm hosting those today. So hopefully lots of Focus Friend timer will be going on and we can keep track of our socks together. Things to do, places to be, folks to see. So we're gonna go see them. Hey friends, I'm sitting here getting ready for the day. Excuse my very messy vanity. Be glad you can't see the chaos that's back there. That is on my list of things to clean up over fall break. But I owe you guys a reading update because I didn't update yesterday because I did something stupid. I left my Kindle at work. We are doing benchmark tests right now, which means a lot more downtime than normal. So I brought it to work with me, did not pick it up at all while I was at work, and then left it on my desk. So that was cool. So what did I do? I took myself to Barnes & Noble because I was sad. And I bought House of Bane and Blood by Alex Menard, Menard, I'm not sure, but it's over on my bed and I don't feel like getting up. So here's the cover. And was this on any immediate TBR? No, it wasn't, but I did pick it up last night and I read a little bit, which got me enough socks to buy something else for my little, I keep calling it his living room. I think this is his office, but I feel so silly for doing that. And I am still going to finish the appeal, hopefully today, because it's the last day of the month and I need to finish that and listen to a short story today. Oh my gosh. But I am going to finish the vlog today. So I did not finish the appeal in the vlog, which might be a little bit unsatisfying, but today's a busy day and I'm not going to be able to vlog throughout it. So I will put an update screen at the very end with my actual progress, but I wanted to give you an update on the appeal because I'm 200 pages in and this book promises murder on the cover. It says 1 murder, 15 suspects, and there has not been a murder yet. So does that mean I'm not enjoying it? No, I am enjoying it very, very much. But I'm where's the murder? But what's funny about this book, as I told you, it's all told in emails with a few text messages and things scattered throughout. And you really get to know people's personalities through these emails. There are people who are catty. You can tell who likes each other and who doesn't. You can tell who is clingy, who wants to get rid of who as a friend. It's so juicy. It's like if you hacked into somebody at work's email and you were just I guess it's more like text messages these days. We don't communicate in email quite as like conversationally as these people do, but it's like if you hacked into an acquaintance's text messages and you were like, oh my gosh, your life is so juicy. So I'm having a good time with it. I'm just like, where's the murder? I mean, obviously the formatting would be completely different, but I think if they made this a TV show, it would be so funny. Like I'm picturing something like Pretty Little Liars with like messages popping up on the screen as these people are living their lives, but it would definitely like change the feeling of the story. But yeah, okay, so we had two things that we did not get accomplished with Banana Pudding's room. I did not get his little greenery vine, and I didn't get him any wall art, but his room looks way more decorated than it was when we started this vlog, that's for sure. What must it be like to be this cat?